Hey guys, this is Dr. Tonya. I'm here today with another episode of Bounce Back Daily, where you come to get daily tips on how to thrive after cancer. And today we're talking about overcoming the fear that you get after a cancer diagnosis. Now, if you've had cancer, this talk is for you. If you haven't had cancer and you know someone who has who could use this information, please go ahead and tag them so that they can watch this video or get them here so that they can watch it live. But we're going to be talking about fear, overcoming fear after a cancer diagnosis. Now, if you've been diagnosed with cancer, you have dealt with fear to some degree after receiving your diagnosis. But before we dive into talking about how to overcome fear, let's first diagnose or get a definition for what is fear. So, the definition for fear is a distressing emotion of impending danger, whether it's real or imagined. Again, fear is a distressing emotion of impending danger, whether that danger is real or imagined. So that is what fear is. And we all experience fear to some degree after we get a cancer diagnosis. So, what I'm going to do today is give you some do's and don'ts in managing that fear that you could experience after getting a cancer diagnosis. So, the first reason, and by far, I think the biggest reason why most people experience fear after they're diagnosed with cancer is because they are uninformed and they feel unprepared. So, the biggest antidote to alleviating that fear is to get as much information as you can. So, that's our first do. Do get as much information as you can about your diagnosis, what cancer you have, how far it has spread, if at all, what your treatments will be or could be, what your side effects will be or could be, and what you need to do about those side effects. So that way, you can become as informed as you can be about what you have and its treatment, and you can get as prepared as you can get about how to manage those treatments and any side effects related to those treatments. So, when you become more informed and more prepared, that significantly decreases the amount of fear that you experience as a result of getting the diagnosis. So, the second thing we're going to talk about is I want you to don't compare yourself with anyone else. Everyone's cancer journey is unique. So, you talking about your cancer diagnosis and comparing it with someone else's really doesn't help you at all. And most commonly, when you tell people about your cancer diagnosis, their knee-jerk reaction typically isn't to give you a positive story. The knee-jerk reaction for most people is to tell you something negative or about a bad outcome that has come with someone else's cancer diagnosis. So, I don't want you to ever compare your cancer journey, your upcoming cancer journey, with anyone else's cancer journey because it's going to be different. It'll be different even if y'all have the same cancer and y'all are the same stage. It has spread the same or not spread the same. Your journey is still going to be different. The medications that you get may be the same, but your response and the side effects and how you feel when you get the medication may be very different. So don't compare your journey with anyone else, because if you compare it with someone who has a negative outcome or who's had a negative experience with the treatment, that's going to significantly increase the amount of anxiety that you have in going into the treatment. So you don't want to increase your fear by comparing your journey with somebody else's. So that's number two. Third thing is you do want to start practicing visualization and positive thinking exercises, because you have to be intentional about moving You're shifting your mind from the negative to the positive. By default, we think negatively. By default, we actually have to train our mind to think positive. By default, we think negative. That's the way we've been trained from a very young age. We're always, taught about be careful, danger, stranger danger. So those are the thoughts that instinctively come to mind. So we automatically shift to a negative outcome when we think about a situation like cancer, because that's typically what we hear. Because you honestly don't tend to get news information or social media information about people who have done well. I think things are starting to shift, but by default, we think negatively. So you have to be intentional about changing your mindset into thinking positive. So how do you do that? You do that by, you know, doing positive affirmations about healing. You do that by positive prayers for healing. You do that by guided meditations that help you relax, that include visualization exercises to that positive outcome that you're wanting. You have to be intentional about including those things in your routine going forward as you start this journey. So, number three was do include positive thinking and visualization exercises in your routine. So, number four, the fourth way that we can overcome fear with a cancer diagnosis is by starting your treatment, and don't delay starting your treatment. That's a do and a don't. Because the biggest antidote to fear once you get a cancer diagnosis is starting to treat the cancer. You know, the biggest amount of anxiety happens between the time you get that diagnosis and the time you start treating the cancer. The longer that period of time is, the more mind has to create an outcome that you don't want. So you don't want to give your mind any extra time to create a negative outcome. And so you want to start your treatment as soon as possible. Sometimes we're tempted to delay treatment, for work, for different things, but you really want to try to start your treatment as soon as it's available. Don't delay starting your treatment because you want to decrease your anxiety level as quickly as possible, and starting your treatment will do that. Okay, and the last thing that I want to mention is after you finish treatment, you do want to stay in action after your treatment is done. You want to continue to do something that's going to decrease your risk of your cancer coming back, because as soon as you finish your treatment, some people actually feel a little bit of a letdown and a little bit of anxiety start to rise after they finish treatment. Why is that? Because you're no longer actively treating your cancer. And when you're no longer actively treating your cancer, your mind shifts to what if it comes back? And if you're not doing anything actively to keep it from coming back, then that anxiety level increases and gets higher as you get closer to those follow up appointments with your doctor. And when you go into your follow up appointments, you typically have anxiety until you hear the all clear message from the doctor, because you haven't really been doing anything to keep the cancer from coming back. So you may wonder, well, if my treatment is over and they haven't given me anything else to do, what should I be doing to keep my cancer from coming back? You may need to change the way you eat, change your lifestyle, incorporate exercise, um, watch your stress levels. Those are all things that you can do to help manage your cancer risk after you finish treatment. So I've given you 5 things that help you overcome your fear after receiving a cancer diagnosis, but I have a lot more information to share with you. I have a free masterclass that's coming up called Amazing After Cancer. Even if you still have it, it gives you lots of tips and information to help you thrive after cancer, so that not only will you get the support that you need through your cancer journey, but you're able to build the life that you desire after you finish cancer. So, if you are interested in getting more information about my masterclass, direct message the word ready, READY, and you will get all of the information sent directly to your inbox on how to get on the wait list for this masterclass that is coming up very, very soon. So I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Bounce Back Daily. See you guys next time.